Hey everybody, welcome back to episode number 5 of Back at the Shop, and we're going to be highlighting a first Cars Tour race of the season at New River All American Speedway. To get things started, I'm your host, Brett Suggs. We've got Kyle Hood, Jason Kutch, and Alex Carter sitting here with us. Let's jump right on into it. So this past weekend was the first Cars Tour race of the season, and it's been highly anticipated. That's what we started the show around originally. And to finally get a Cars Tour race under the season's belt was a good mark to have. The car count was a little bit lower than you would expect for a season opener. We're going to talk about that some more, as well as some of the action throughout the race. We started with our picks for the weekend, as we do for every Pro Late Model race that we account for. My pick, I went with Ben Mayer. He was fresh off a Speedfest winning his first start with Setzer Racing. Jason, who'd you have?
I originally went with Keelan Harvick. I figured you couldn't really go wrong with him. He's pretty fast where he's going. And then, of course, Kyle Campbell got him sick, so he had to go home early. So I ended up picking Isaac Kitzmiller.
Okay. Alex, how about you?
I picked Tristan McKee just because I watched some of the practices, and he was pretty quick in both cars. So I figured he'd be a great one to go with.
Yeah, he ran strong already.
Yeah.
Kyle?
Yeah, so I went with Jaden. Watched her a pretty good bit down there.
Jaden?
Is that her name?
Jade.
Jade.
I was thinking they were going to call it out. Did I say Jaden?
Jade.
Jade. All right,
Jade.
start that over.
Okay.
I picked Jade. I'd watched her down at New Smyrna, and just every night she just kept getting better and better and better. And I just knew, this was going to be, first couple of races, I figured she'd kind of shine. And I just went ahead and picked her and threw it out there, and paid off.
Yeah.
She did good.
Well, she sure did. We'll talk about kind of how things ended and why you're sitting top of the leaderboard for the weekend.
Yeah.
But, so you won out of our picks. Alex came in second, Jason third, and I was at the bottom of the barrel again. So not too good there. Let's highlight the race a little bit, though. 100-lapper. First time the pro cars pros, I think Carolina Pro have been there before, or some Pro Late Models or something have been there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not the Cars Tour.
No.
So first time for the Cars Tour Pro Late Models to go there. It's a pretty calm race for the most part. Pretty tame first 80 laps. And then after, I think it was like lap 82, is when things started to get a little bit out of control. I don't know. I don't remember what the first caution was of the race, but one that stuck out to me was the 94 new driver to the Cars Tour. I think his name was Garrett Hall. He came from about 2 car lengths back and took out the 47 car of Tyler Reif. Just cleaned him out. I mean, there was like...
Didn't he get the 43 car too? Is that the same one?
I don't know if he turned him or not. I'm not sure.
I thought he got the 43.
He might have, but it's like he had no brakes or something.
Somebody said he was a wrecking ball, so I just...
Yeah.
I don't know if he was or if he wasn't.
Yeah. I don't know.
What number was he?
94, it was a next-gen style body.
I think that is who got horn.
Yeah.
Was it?
I'll have to go back and look, but I think it is.
Yeah.
So he cleaned out Tyler. Sounds like he might have got himself another one too. Don't know what that was all about, but that was aggressive. That was like something you do in Martinsville. He was in line behind Brody, and he missed Brody and still managed to get to Tyler. Like, that was impressive. That was going from that far back.
Somebody.
Yeah. He was mad at a blue car. He just didn't know which one.
He didn't know which blue car it was.
So that happened. I think that was around 20 to go. We get a restart, and Horniman gets turned around. Sounds like it might have been by him as well.
Yeah, I have to go back and verify that 100%. But yeah, I hated that for them. Start of the season.
Yeah.
Family team like that, that's tough.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt the car pretty bad, too.
Yeah, it looked like it got it front end rear clip possibly, but...
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So I guess I should mention I was at the race for about 2 hours on Saturday. Got down there Thursday. Wasn't feeling too good. Stayed at the hotel all Friday. And
did
then
Kyle get you sick too?
I think so,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So stayed at the hotel all Friday, and then showed up Saturday for a couple hours. Didn't feel good. I'm like, let's go. We're heading home. So we left. So didn't get to see the race itself, but heard it was quite the eventful one. So we get a few restarts now under 10 laps to go. Tristan McKee had led the whole race. A lot of people were saving tires. Jade, TJ were kind of riding around about a half straightaway behind or so.
Yeah.
Well, these cautions there at the end brought everybody back together. And Jade saw that as her opportunity, TJ as well. Jade, she put up a good fight on the outside. I mean, she wheeled the outside around Tristan like he didn't even know she was there. So much so that he learned and kind of ran her in the fence just about coming out of 4. And that opened the door for TJ, too.
Yeah,
stick
it was a
his nose in
dogfight.
there.
I mean, any of them cars, top 4, top 5, it was a good race there at the end. You know, any one of them could have won at that point. So,
Do you think Tristan was pushing too hard throughout the race? Because he led the whole thing.
it's hard to say. I had to go back and look what his times were between him and second or third, but I would say no. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with this tire. When you got that many cautions back to back right there and the tire cools down, and you know, if you're not keeping enough heat in it under the caution laps, you get ready to fire off. It's whoever's managing that on that restart, really.
Not to mention, you know, on a restart, everybody gets wings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they know at that point that it's, you know, 5 to go, 10 to go, 6 to go, whatever it is right there at the end. And it's
You're gonna hustle your car to get.
it's a
one
Hail
you can
Mary
out
at
of
that
it,
point.
yeah. So
It was an exciting race to
It
watch.
was.
Though.
Yeah.
put a
That
good
last
show on.
the last 20 laps of that race was
Yeah.
fun
Right.
to watch.
Well, they kept having all those restarts. It's like one of the restarts, I think Tyler Reif turned around Brody. That was with a couple to go. That was for
Yeah.
that last 3-lap shootout. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if Reif just got in a little bit hot or what, but he spun Brody around. Hate that for a teammate. But that opened up the final, most exciting restart of the race.
Tristan didn't want to see that.
No, and I think so. On one of those prior restarts, TJ had got the lead, but they called it back, so he restarted second or something. They reshuffled the field, so it gave Tristan another try to, you know, hang on to it. But the outside was just so good on that restart, the way it fired off. TJ was able to make it work and went on to win the race. I mean, he was aggressive, but he didn't do anything dirty. He didn't run
He
anybody
drove
over.
clean.
Yeah.
He drove clean.
Deal.
That's what he seems to do from what we've seen when he drove the 15 car and everything. He's aggressive, but he's timely with it too. You know, he knows how to manage it. So that was cool to see TJ go to victory lane. I was happy for him. I was supposed to be getting content for him, but I kind of left him hanging. So then I see him. I wanted him to win, but it's like I'm gonna feel terrible. I left, and he wins the dang thing, you know. But luckily, he was taken care of there and got all the photos he needed from other people. So it got worked out. But he goes to victory lane, his first Cars Tour win for Walker Motorsports too. Pretty sure celebrates in victory lane. You know the whole process, how it goes. I mean, you guys won this weekend. You know, shout out 51 car over there. You know what it's like to celebrate in victory lane. But what if that was taken away from you?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That would have been
So what was the
pretty hard to-
percentage on the left side? Did anybody ever say?
I think TJ did a post, and I think I have to go back and don't quote me on it, but I want to say the first time they rode across was like 0.6.
Thought they give you the .09 though.
And then,
That's DUI.
yeah.
Come on, Alex.
Might be. I thought it was like it had to be like they gave you some grace period.
No, it's like
Well,
0.01 maybe. 0.02
well, the
at
grace
max.
period might be .09.
Yeah.
09, but
Yeah.
he was
He was
0.6.
Oh, .6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
0.6. And then
Okay.
they give you 3 attempts.
Yeah.
And so then he rolled across, I think it was then 0.5, then 0.4. And it could have started at 5, went 4.3, but it was something like that. So
What's the ruling on that? You know,
as far as,
what the left side weight?
well, it's 58%. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, of the 2,800 or
Yeah.
whatever package you're running with motor. Or regardless of package you're running, it's 58%.
Okay.
So, that was.
Because knowing that little bit
Yeah.
didn't really.
Yeah, but if it was in that 0.6 number,
Yeah.
you know as well as I do when we're here, that
Well, yeah,
could-
0.6.
that's 20, 30 pounds and give or take
Mhm.
that could have been missed there.
Yeah.
So,
It's just heartbreaking being
It
your
is.
first win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It
you're
is.
all excited. You're in the Cars Tour.
well, I'm texting him as he's crossing the line.
I was
you know,
too. I
like
felt bad.
congratulations, you know, happy for him, the whole deal. And then we get about halfway home from our race, and I start seeing the news, and then I'm like, oh man, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I hate it for him, especially being your first win.
Right.
That's
We're-
and with the car store. That's not.
We were watching it riding down the road,
Right.
Yeah.
like, oh my God. Oh my God.
And the bad thing
Yeah.
is like from a driver's standpoint, like he didn't do anything wrong.
No,
No.
no,
He did everything
That-
right.
He did
yeah.
everything
Driver's
right.
seat.
He drove a
That
clean
would be
race
like
and-
us here, just saying we missed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And let's
Yeah.
be honest too, right? We're not pointing fingers or even
No.
saying that they did anything wrong.
Mm.
I mean, when you're at the track, them scales. I mean,
They fluctuate quite a
yeah,
bit.
that's a sketchy thing on its own. But that is the rule, and that's where we all have to
Live at,
not
so.
be on that gray area, knowing that, So
Mhm.
But as a racer, you got to.
that's right. We're gonna push everything we can.
You got to be
Yeah.
on that gray area.
So disappointing for him. But then that opens the door. So Kyle, you still won anyways.
I don't want either way. So even
you-
if I ran second, I still won.
Yeah, you won with your pick, Jade. Tristan ended up shuffled up to second there. So Alex, you brought it home second.
Right.
Isaac ended third, and Ben Mayer ended fourth. So
We-
it worked out that all of our picks ended up.
I think at
right
one
on
point
top
we
of it.
were all running in a line.
That's where they.
That's
finished.
where they
Yeah.
finished. 2, 3,
well,
4.
now, yeah, because
Yeah.
he got DQ'd, but yeah.
Good race overall, though. Disappointing on the final outcome, but happy for Eric Roll. He was spotter for
Yeah.
He
Jade.
was.
It's crazy because he spots for TJ time to time.
Yeah.
So like I know he's cheering for TJ, but he's
Yep.
obviously cheering for the car that he's.
Well, me
he's
and him
working with.
texted back, and I was like, "Man, congratulations!" But
Yeah,
at the same time, he was happy, but at the same time, he felt for TJ too.
Right.
So it was a tough deal.
mm-hmm.
Well,
But,
they bet-
but even Jade, I mean, this is her first win, right?
Yeah,
and the
To
first
get-
female.
To get it that way, she would have rather had it.
she'd rather cross. The
She'd
line.
rather
Yeah.
cross the line
As
first.
a racer, that's
You know,
how
as a racer,
anybody would have been.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, like, kind of feel bad for her, too. Like, oh, I mean, congratulations, you got the win. That's awesome.
Yeah,
But you also,
she didn't want to do it that
she
way.
didn't want
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a bad situation for everybody, but it's at the end of the day, that's how it fell out.
Rules are
Yeah.
rules.
You know.
But that you do bring up a good point. First female
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
win a Cars Tour race. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty big news.
Yeah.
So congrats to her. She's just making her transition from dirt to pavement. I mean, she ran the World Series, ran all the laps.
And,
She had to
she's
do
on
that.
her
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
legitly
Oh,
cross
yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
on
yeah.
her way.
Yeah, her even falling into that this weekend is not a fluke thing.
No.
I mean she's going to win regardless. She has done a good
Yeah.
job. So
Right
She was
now,
in
I think
position.
she is the best female driver.
I would agree.
Well, I agree.
that
She's already
there
won
is.
the fall brawl at Hickory
Yeah.
in the pro car.
Not
So,
not to bring this up, but look what she did at Speed Weeks. I mean, she continuously got better,
Better and better.
every single
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
She's
good.
she's good.
Yeah. So shout out to her and her Donnie Wilson team for the win. Like we said, Tristan, Isaac, Ben, and Tyler Reif rounded out the top 5. So Reif, I'm going to go back to this real quick. Reif held on to his spot after he turned Brody. Usually the tour would penalize someone
Right.
from the rear after they spin somebody like that, but
They
he
could have
held
got
on to his
confused
spot.
with the color of the cars.
Maybe.
There's only
They probably
three of them
thought
out there
he-
running around together, you know?
Yeah, they probably thought blue car went to the back, so I guess we're good.
Yeah.
Wrong one.
Oh,
So he ended up 5th. Dylan Garner 6th. Rodney Dallas, he's
Yeah.
making a full-time run, I believe, in the Walker car. He ended up 7th. Belo 8th, and Logan Jones 9th. Brody ended up 10th. How about the car count?
How many they have?
15,
14.
14.
14.
And how many finished?
Finished 12.
Lead lap 12.
But wasn't there another race that drew? What was it, Montgomery?
Yeah.
Hunt the Bear 200.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Kyle?
I mean, it definitely didn't help that they were on the same weekend.
But I don't think really any of those people
I
ran
don't,
the
yeah,
cars
because I even looked at
Mhm.
the car count down there. I mean, it was pretty good car count,
Yeah.
like pretty impressive car count.
How many were there?
I have to go back
Actually, I'm
and look.
pulling it
You
up now.
pull it up,
There's
you look.
26 cars.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty good car count for them. But I mean, going to the names, I don't know 3/4 of the field, so I don't even know where these people are coming from.
The only names that I'd see would run Cars Tour would be like Spencer Davis,
Yeah, Spencer was down there.
which I know they're not happy with the tour. Jarrett Butcher, I mean, that's Cole Butcher's brother, and he's in a Wilson car, so I could have seen him there. But yeah, you're right. The rest of them, I don't really.
Yeah.
The rest of them either already run down there in like that Alabama, Pensacola area. they wouldn't have really ran a car store anyway. So do you think if that didn't take away from the car count, what did?
I don't know. Part of the region, it's kind of getting there a little bit outside of pro racing a little far. So I would say the region probably played a big factor in that.
'Cause that's like
And-
6.5 hours from us.
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
hours from us.
That's a
Yeah.
far one.
Yeah. And possibly just being the first time they've been there too.
Yeah.
People don't have enough data or notes on it to really want to go up there and chance and spend the money. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. And there again, we talked about this a couple of shows ago, is the market flooded with pro racing right now. So people are gearing up to go do Carolina Pro or SAPs, or they're going to run, the Montgomery races, or they're going to do the Blizzard Series, And so people are kind of, it's the beginning of the season. We don't want to travel that far and spend a lot of money. I think that probably played a big factor in it.
Yeah.
But speaking of Montgomery, before we get off that subject, I do want to give a shout out to Jackson Bishop. He runs that modified car a pretty good bit, and they have a pro car, and so they went down there, and I think they have kind of struggled with it, getting that program where it needed to be, and they went down there and finished in top 10, finished
Nice.
7th with it. So pretty
Okay.
good run for them guys.
Yeah, that is. I didn't get a chance to watch any of this race. I see John Bullen won,
Yeah,
Carson Brown second, Jim Wall
yeah,
P3. That's a good run for
yeah, that
him.
was a good run for him too.
So, not the best car count for the Cars Tour, but still healthy pro racing throughout the Southeast. We're going to jump back a little bit and talk briefly about Speed Weeks. So that was a long week of racing. That was a long week for me down there. It was like Groundhog's Day. But good racing nonetheless. Good weather pretty much the entire week. Hot, but there's only one day that rain backed up the schedule. I thought that was on, wasn't that the championship night? I think that might have been the last. I think that was the.
I think it was the night before, wasn't it? Or was it the last
Wednesday.
night for the championship?
It might have been Wednesday. Yeah, you might have been right.
I think it was. I don't know. That's, like you said,
It was-
it's all run together now.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago at this point, but pretty contended week full of different winners. Well, aside from Hunter Wright, that inherited 2 out of the 3 wins that he got.
Well, let's laugh about that for a minute. So I hated TJ got DQ'd, but that put me back winning this past weekend.
Yeah.
And then I picked Connor Jones every
Yeah.
single night down there, and I got DQ'd
Yeah,
every single night. You
Yeah.
know, so
something
that
took
become
him
a
out.
running joke at that point.
Yeah. So the way we did our picks for Speed Weeks, we were looking at every single night because there was no way to know who's running for the championship. So we did our picks on a race by race type of thing. We looked at qualifying and then we made our picks. And yeah, like Kyle said, he had no luck the entire week.
And he was good. He was fast.
We'll just go ahead and
I
say
mean,
Alex dominated
He
us the whole
dominated
time
the
down
whole
there.
time.
He picked Hunter Wright in December.
Yeah.
I mean, I already knew
Yeah.
from previous year that he was going to be tough to beat. So
Yeah.
and so each time that I won, I got to pick first again. So I'd pick him again, and
If it ain't broke,
I
don't
just
fix
I
it.
just stayed with it the whole time. I was like,
And then I
Yeah.
was like a beat dog. I just kept going
Yeah.
back for Jones every time. And
It was
Yeah.
comical at
It
some
was.
point.
Yeah.
At that point, I wasn't backing down.
it was
so
Right.
a carburetor. It was weight,
Weight,
left
it-
side
yeah,
weight.
it
It
was-
was
constantly
Yeah.
something.
It was pretty good racing, though. I mean, they tore some stuff up throughout the week, but, that's to be expected anytime you go down for 6 nights of racing.
yeah.
But overall, pretty good week. Brody picked up a win in the BLR 47.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment to see all the hard work throughout the week,
Yeah.
and then to end the night. And
Yeah, that was cool.
And the series on a high note was good. Belo had some troubles. He got right hooked, in my opinion. What do you think? Did he get right hooked?
I don't think so.
Victoria-
But
Down the
Well,
back stretch, coming out of 2.
I think he
don't
washed
think
up into
so.
him.
No, I don't.
that's what I
so.
think.
You think he washed it into him?
But we're watching on flow, and if you're watching on flow,
Yeah.
no, I
hard
think he
to say.
cleared himself.
I mean,
Right.
we had an angle straight at it.
Yeah.
And he's
But I wasn't there.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. I mean, I could see why you would see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't driving it.
I was
so
just
don't know.
curious what y'all thought.
Yeah.
Because from what I saw, even on the flow, I was like, man, it looked like he kind of got right hooked. But
Yeah.
I don't know. They might have just met in the middle too. I mean, he could have been washing up.
But that track's
five.
notorious for that. If you pay attention
Well, yeah,
to
there's a
wrecks that happen there,
Supers wrecked that same way.
yeah,
That week.
it's notorious for that.
It's like it sucks you to the wall, almost
Yeah.
like Cordell sucks you over that.
Yeah, and I don't even
that
know if you
ledge.
realize
Yeah.
what's really happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
So he destroyed that car that night, and then which was his backup car. He switched to his backup car, and then that's
Why did he switch to his backup car?
whatever was going on with his primary car. Like something, I think when they got it back from Fury was bound up, or like Fury, something was wrong on it. So they wanted to run the backup, and the backup was good until it wasn't, until it was wadded up. So they went back to the primary car, and they just struggled with it. So they put it in the box and called it quits for the 6 car for the week.
Let me guess, he was tight.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. So tough break
That's,
for Belo, but overall, just wanted to highlight Speed Weeks real quick before we got too far past it. I know that's not the point of the show, but just wanted to leave a few touch points on that. Looking at the rest of the schedule, though, we're going to be talking about Cordele here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Home track. Are y'all racing that?
No.
What is TH doing on April 12th?
I have nobody in the seat right now for that race.
But if there's anybody,
But
that
we've
wants
got
to
5
win
weeks
money,
left, so if anybody's looking, we got a car available. But
hint.
but yeah, we're going to try to be there, you know,
Yeah.
with somehow, some way with somebody. But nothing's in stone. But I'm not going to get in the weeds right now with it, but it will make an announcement here in a few weeks. But TH is going to be looking a little differently in the next few weeks, and so we'll make an announcement of what all that looks like.
Okay.
So,
I can't wait to type up the Facebook post.
yeah, so some things are going to be changing a little bit for the good, and so don't know how much focus on leasing we're going to be doing, but we do have some cars available, and we're going to continue to do it, but it's not going to be our primary focus.
Okay.
So
Cool. I like the sound of that. Can't
Yeah.
wait to hear what it is.
Yep.
So April 12th, the next Cars Tour race for the pros. The late model stocks go to Wake in a week or two. Late model stocks, what do you think of that 37 car count they brought to the first race?
That was good.
Yeah.
We talk about car count for the pros being low, but that was impressive on
They had to send
the
them home.
opposite sin.
Yeah.
the
well,
opposite
up there
side,
though,
so-
that's kind
But
of in
you're
the
in that
wheelhouse,
region,
you know.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in late model stock territory.
Well, you're in that
Yeah.
region, and if you really look at it, it's not saturated, all right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
you're either going to run the NASCAR weekly deal, or you're going to run your base racetrack, you know, your local racetrack, or you're
Yeah.
going to run with the tour, and so that's the only option you have, right?
Mhm.
Pro,
You've got
just throw it
100
out there and
options.
pick one, you
Yeah.
know. So that it's great that we have the options, but it hurts the car count. You
Mhm.
got too many people battling for positions of who's going to grab cars and all
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, so they sent some cars home. I didn't really pay attention to the results too much. I did watch the race, which, my God, they tore some stuff up. Seems like they do that just about every Cars Tour race nowadays. I don't know what happened on the initial start, but I know 5 laps in, I think 15 cars were missing half their bodies.
yeah.
Millington, did you see what happened to
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
They ripped the whole left side quarter all the way up to the rear window off,
Yeah.
and then he drove up to finish fifth
Yeah.
by the whole end of
Yeah.
the deal.
I
Pretty
noticed
impressive.
like a lot, like on like Friday's practice, there was a bunch of people who were struggling, but it seemed like by either after qualifying and then running the race, they kind of either figured it out or got faster. Like Ryan Middleton wasn't the greatest,
Yeah.
but he just kind of like just.
You
I
can
don't know if
always
they
count
stay
him to
with
be
it.
Yeah.
very consistent. Though.
Yeah.
He's always going to be there at the end. You know,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what he does in practice, he's always going to race
Yeah.
good. You know, it seems to for the most part.
Well, then, too, that track is so abrasive that, I mean, just because you can't find it in qualifying speed
Yeah.
doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you didn't save your tires for 100 laps and you're there at the
Right.
end.
Yeah, and I would say at that place, I've never raced there, but just watching it and talking to people and stuff, I would say you can't really be a clock watcher there. You got
Yeah.
to really hone in on setup and how well the car is handling for late runs and
Mhm.
tire wear and stuff, because it's an animal to get around. Looks like
Yeah.
so.
It'd be fun to take some laps around there. Just the
Yeah.
line that they run, I mean, down the straightaway and into one, they run a low line down the straightaway because it's like a dog leg.
Yeah.
It's like a mile and a half. But then they swoop up entry to one because the banking just it's very strange.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like a fun place.
Yeah. You can't be your typical racer and now that just keeps bolting tires on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the top of the charts,
Right.
know, high five, and then the race starts, and what happened?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the place you can do that at, I don't think.
No. Hopefully they get a good pro car count. They're probably how many late model stocks do you think are going to show up to that?
We were talking about that earlier today. I think the pro count is going to be phenomenal because this is the region for pro racing.
Yeah.
And they already get a great car count down there now without the tour involved. So,
That's true.
and then you got the CRA deal, Speed Fest. So it always brings a good car count. So that's not going to be a struggle.
I
It's
think late model
questionable
stocks.
about how many are going to come down because they seem to not want to travel much. But
You're talking about the pros, like
with the late model stocks.
I say there's going to be at least 26.
Yeah.
the late model stocks.
But I would
Juniors racing.
Well, that's
so.
that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Juniors there, so they all want to run against juniors, so they're coming. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be all right.
Yeah, I say there's at least 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good show. I can't wait to see.
I think there'll be at least 30 there,
Yeah.
at least. But pros, I mean, there could be close to 30 or better pros there.
Really?
I would say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the tour needs that.
Yeah.
Although that's not like that's gonna be an inflated number on their total car count for the year. But I don't know. It'll be a good race. We'll have to take a look and
I would say it's going to be their biggest race of the year count wise.
over any other track they go to, Wilkesboro and everything.
I would say so. Yeah.
Well, Wilkesboro's kind of ran its course.
Yeah, Wilkesboro's ran its course, and I mean,
Dominion, that's another new track for pros. That's again out of the region, though.
It's out of the region.
What pro car do you know is in Virginia?
I don't know of one.
Exactly. So.
I don't know of one.
Why don't none of these guys like Junior or Harvick and any of these older NASCAR guys run the Pro Series with us?
Well, Harvick does. Harvick will. He runs straight rail stuff. So Harvick's not really running late model stock stuff. He will, but he's going to be more straight rail because that's what he grew up doing. Junior's more late model stock because that's what he grew up doing.
Like you would think, as these track owners, they're gonna, hire some of these guys that come to fill the stands.
Well, if it was up to Junior, he'd be racing every week.
Yeah.
He would rather be racing. He talked in his interview after New River. He wasn't at the race, but he's like, "Man, I wish I was out there with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a lot of fun."
Yeah.
But,
they usually gravitate toward what they grew up doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so
which you would think they'd have more of these guys coming and doing it with us. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't.
I'd like to see Junior in a pro.
Yeah. Someone asked him that question. It might have been on a.
I think he said
episode.
he would entertain it, but I'd like to see him in a pro.
Well, maybe this will make it out there, but so Greg Biffle's been dealing with this Cletus McFarland guy.
Yeah.
He's all over everything. Greg, come run one of these cars for us. Let's get him in one of the cars.
How about that?
Yeah, come on.
He's got his sleeves cut off
That's
right now
right.
for
That's
next
right.
month
That's
too.
right.
So.
I feel like a bald eagle going around there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, it's funny. He's like, all right, let's jump on the subject talking about Cletus, right? So, look what he's doing.
Oh man, he's killing it.
Look what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And he is a promoter, right? And that's what short track racing's missing. You know, and somebody, Cars Tour, somebody needs to grab onto this guy, like NASCAR kind of has with ARCA with him.
What did they say with the ARCA was up 1 million views?
That's what,
when he ran the race.
Yeah.
He has 4-point-something million followers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
why is he not in a pro? Why is he not?
Cletus, we got a car.
Let's go, you know?
Well, so did you watch his Dale Jr. episode?
I did.
It was good.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good message. And then I liked how he asked Junior some questions too. It was cool. But he does so many, he said he's involved in so many different forms of motorsports. He doesn't, like Junior's like, are you a racer? Are you a entertainer? Are you a drag racer? What are you?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a definition.
Yeah, he just loves.
Because he's a YouTuber.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber, and he uses motorsports to help promote himself as a YouTuber. But that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
That's what I don't care if it's NASCAR. I don't care if it's Cars Tour. I don't care if it's local racetrack. Five Flags. That's what we're missing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's figured it out. And someone needs to grab hold of him, or they need to get with him and get a game plan together and figure it out. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking Crown Vics and
Yeah.
4 Crown Vics, and
Selling
people are
out
showing up
arenas.
for that. Then
What was that Ultima race they just had?
Yeah.
in there?
Oh, he had
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
what,
there was
200 Ultimas
it
or
was
something.
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather go
He's
watch that
he's
than
smart.
go watch a NASCAR
Oh, yeah.
race.
Me too.
I mean, I'm just being dead honest
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he's bringing the entertainment to asphalt.
yes,
Like he's the only, not like that's the only entertaining act that asphalt has, but that's the only act that fans want to see nowadays.
Yeah.
Is something
crazy.
absurd and
Yeah.
destroy a car, like an enduro race or something like that. So it's hard to get people to watch a
Well, that and
normal
people can
race.
they can relate to him because he's a normal person.
Well,
Yeah.
a normal
Like he
person.
didn't grow up with a family with a lot of money or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, he was. grew
well,
up
let's
as
just
a
be honest.
YouTuber.
We're too worried about if they're black, yellow, girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hispanic. There's too much focus on that instead of just raw talent, right?
Yeah.
And so then you got a guy like this. Look at the fan base he brought over to run the ARCA race.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He already had a fan base, you know. And so let's think outside the box here a little bit, you know. And there's just too much focus in the wrong areas.
Yeah.
You know.
What do we do to fix that?
Yeah. You know, talk to him. I think he has the answers. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, just look at like him and Greg Bethel right now. You know, I mean, he's already got his own fans. He made a name for himself. And he kind of went away,
hmm
and then they kind of had a relationship through the whole hurricane and floods up in North Carolina. They brought them together.
And he's just
And
they're just genuine
They're
people.
just good
Yeah.
people, and now them two are running around, and now we hear Greg Biffle every 5 minutes,
hmm
which is great because
Yeah.
he was one of my drivers.
We
growing up.
talked about
you
him
know?
today
Yeah,
in the
Yeah.
truck going to lunch.
you know,
He's got his
and
sleeves cut off.
Yeah.
He's cut his kid sleeves off the other
I
day.
saw I saw a video of
His
that.
mom just got you this shirt like 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
But there's got to be some brainstorming going on and figuring this out, you know. And like your point you brought up earlier, Jason, like, you know, growing up in the sport, I mean, they would fly in, you know, Neil Bonnet, Bobby Allison, Davey Allison, Dale Earnhardt, Bill Elliott, you name them. They would fly in a little plane,
hmm
and we'd be all across the country racing, and they would land and get out and do a little show or run a car, sign an autograph, and get back in and go. And that's, we're getting no support from the superstars, in my opinion, in
Yeah.
the way that we need to be.
It's like they make it and they forget.
Yeah.
hmm
Well, you have to show up to see them.
Yeah.
They can't just show up and be genuine.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but when they don't have a personality nowadays,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and when their schedule is like
Back to back.
sim 5 days a week,
Yeah.
and then you're at the racetrack Saturday, Sunday,
You got a good point.
takes away from a lot of the other
It's a
stuff.
whole job now.
Yeah. It's
Whereas
not
used
just show
to,
up and race.
Yeah, like Dylan Hart, he'd be on a bulldozer during the week
Yeah.
versus, you know,
Yeah. Working on the farm.
yeah.
It's a different time.
Yeah. Different time.
Well, Jason, you got anything to lay it on us this
Well,
week?
we've been talking about the car count, which leads me to my question. We're talking about the YouTubers and stuff, but with the high cost of racing so high, do y'all think that the increasing popularity of iRacing, esports racing, is impacting the future of traditional motorsports?
Not to the point of traditional motorsports being wiped away, if that's what you're thinking.
More of the car count is lower. You know, these kids mainly just like, yeah, we can,
If
we can
anything-
go iRace and
No.
not have to go out to the
I-
racetrack. And
I think it's more of a tuning tool,
Yeah. I think it's more of
I
a,
guess you'd say, for the
Yeah.
driver's
Yeah.
end of it.
and I think if it did anything, I think it would help, because the people that could afford it, like a William Byron, right? That's where he started.
Mm.
You know, a Tom Majeski, you know, could afford it. Like,
showed they did good and then went to it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it shows, you know, it gives them a tool to start with without spending a lot of money to say, hey, this is something I think I'm good at or want to do. You know, so if anything, I would say the needle lean more toward helping than hurting.
It's good.
And kind of bringing up that question of, you know, can the average family afford to go racing? Well, maybe average family can't afford it, but they can afford iRacing. But it's like, we're not going to pour an investment into a $100,000 race car. Let's put $5,000 into a nice simulator.
Mhm.
You run that for a couple years to show that we're not wasting our money. And then
Mm-hmm.
if things work out, then we'll put some more money into it, get some more resources and
Yeah.
help. But I think it's
And here in
it's
Williams,
like it's like might as well do racing in a lower division, it's a stepping stone. That you can say that same thing for iRacing.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Which leads back. I kind of had a two-part on this because we were talking about the older drivers, like even the iRacing. If these guys knew they could get on iRacing and go race against Junior and go race against some of these people, Cletus McFarland, all these type of guys, like, how can we use that to the advantage to get more people, involved with it, where they come to the track more? What do we do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do we do, Alex?
I don't know. That was above my head.
Yeah.
I think to get people to the track is more or less using somebody like Cletus, helping with the marketing.
You gotta have a motivation.
Okay, what about
to
like
come.
well, driver with personality, but like a Butterbean.
Well, yeah,
You know the line that
yeah,
he would have in an autograph session with
you-
Huffman.
yeah.
He's got.
and that
fan
is
base.
that is a good point you brought up earlier. We there's not a lot of personalities in the sport, and that hurts us a little bit,
Nobody who wants to just hang out,
Yeah.
except for like Junior does. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
he's got
shoot.
a camper out there in the
Yeah.
camper lot, just hanging out
Cooler
with
full
people.
of beer.
Yeah,
But we
So-
also don't want it to be a Jake Paul situation.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I can't stand that guy.
Wait,
Like,
what do you mean?
we don't want it to hurt.
We don't want to
the
be a
sport
spectacle
either.
either.
You
Yeah.
get some jackleg YouTube person that don't have a clue about none of it
Oh no!
that comes in here and ruins, and does nothing but just,
you don't
more-
want it to
it's
be
more of
made
a-
out
it's
as a
more of a-
joke.
correct.
Yeah.
It makes it more of a joke and goes out there and wrecks the cars and fields and is not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
So you got to be kind of careful. I mean, yeah, we want the YouTubers, but we don't want the YouTuber people like that are just going to make it a joke and make it where it's, look at this, I'm going to tear it up for a month and then have nothing to do with it,
Right.
not like Michael Hine Torping thing. That's where he came from.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
With what? Four
That's-
wheelers?
That's
or?
how he.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it was
funded-
hill
didn't he-
climbing. wasn't
Didn't he fund most of his start?
That's how he
startup?
bought his first
Yeah.
race car. Was from
With
the
YouTube.
YouTube. And I don't
Yeah.
think he's doing it anymore, but
Right.
that's how he got invested into racing.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
That's what I heard.
I've
too.
heard that too, but
I'm
I've
not-
never seen his.
Let's call him and ask him.
Yeah, it's on there. I've looked it up.
Call,
I mean,
call him up. Let's see.
Get
what
him on the
happens.
show.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael Hine, if you're out there, we want you on the show.
Yeah, we want
Back
to
at
know
the
about
shop. Get you back in the shop. Tell us what the secret is.
it. Yeah, we all need a little extra money.
How can we be YouTubers and go racing? All right, well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. You guys got anything else?
Not really. What about the other question we had?
Save it for another episode?
We'll save
I
for
guess
another
so.
episode.
Yeah,
We'll cut that.
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll catch it after Cordell.
yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good one.
Yeah, we'll catch it after Cordell.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in to episode number 5 here on Back at the Shop. Remember, if you like this episode, drop a subscription on our YouTube channel, as well as leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, we'll see you back at the shop.